Hey, what's up, YouTube friends and family? It's Cousin Ryan.
Shut up! You don't think Ryan is famous?
Cousin Ryan.
You gotta
update again on our Ectomobile project. We're not any closer to making it the Ectomobile. Well, we're closer to making it the Ectomobile because we're closer to having it mechanically sound and drivable. I've got a little locking gas cap I was going to install, or I'm going to install. It's not a big deal, but I got to thinking, I don't know, maybe you guys might find it interesting. I mean, it's one of those simple things that not everybody's done, so I thought we'd do it. And then we'd also made a trip to the Junkyard today, so I thought I'd do a little rundown of some of the stuff we found at the Junkyard. So we'll start with the gas cap over here. This is it, and I'm gonna park my camera right here, and we'll go ahead and unbox it. I think it's pretty straightforward. Now, I bought it for this car, and I'm assuming it's gonna fit, but I've bought a few parts recently for this summer that were supposed to be for this car, and they just didn't quite fit. So we're hoping this will. The gas cap looks like here. See, the key goes in there. Comes with a couple set of keys. And then let's set this down right here. Let's go ahead, and here's the gas cap that comes on the car, and you can see there's absolutely, you don't look, as I say, it's easy to take off. You don't lock it or anything, it just comes off, and then people can either steal your gas out or pour something in your tank you don't want. So that's why we'll go with the locking gas cap. And I'm assuming, is it just gonna fit? It looks like it fits in there. Press it down. Is it locked? I've never installed one of these before, so I don't know. Okay, it feels like it's on there. So let's take a key. Oh, and look at that. It pops right off. So that's pretty cool. Actually works really good. Take the keys out. Let's try that again. So it'll just, I don't even think you have to turn it. Maybe you do. There we go. Okay, and it's on there. And then pops off. I'm actually really happy with how that works. That's pretty cool. And it's vented as well, so there's a little gasket on there. Done. That was easy. That was super easy. I'm excited about that. Okay, let's go around to the other side of the car. So when we went to the Junkyard today, you can see here, these are just standard painted from the factory. There was no chrome or anything. However, on a previous trip to the Junkyard, you guys may have been with us on, we got chrome for this, and we were looking at the chrome on the same car that goes on the window frames here, and it just didn't look like it was going to be easy to peel off. Like, we got this off of that same car, this strip of chrome with a bottle opener, and then we were able to snap it back onto our car without damaging it. But the chrome on the windowsills just didn't look easy to take off without risking destroying it or wrecking it. So the next solution was, it was easier to take the entire window frames out. So we went and pulled the whole window frame out, and you can see the window, when it rolls up and down, it actually rides in this whole track right here in the car. So these little wing windows are removable, but we just took the whole assembly. I'll replace this one with ours. You can see there's some bubbling here, but it's not broken or anything. This one's got some cracks in it. And then these are the same deal here for the back window. You see the back window doesn't go down as far because of the hump, the wheel hump here. But yeah, so that's something we got. And then let's go back over to the other side here. I'd mentioned before that we had finished rebuilding the brakes. Well, the exciting part is here, the brake pedal actually works. So we have brake fluid, excuse me, sorry, I'm stuttering, the brakes, too many B's here. The brakes have been bled. The process of bleeding the brakes, just to kind of give you a quick little rundown. So this is the reservoir here. These pop off, and there's two chambers. This one feeds the front brakes, this one feeds the rear brakes, and the fluid goes through the brake lines can see these are the new brake lines here, this skinnier one. This is a fuel line here. But these 3/16 lines here feed the brakes. And of course, when it's all brand new, there's nothing but air in there, and you want fluid in these. So what you do is you open a bleeder valve on the caliper over there and keep pumping the brake until it pumps fluid all the way through, and then you tighten the bleeder valve back up. That's the oversimplified version of the story, but I found this is kind of cool. This is off of a 59 Ford also. It's a brake pedal that says power brake on it. There's a power brake option on the 59s, and there happened to be a Ranchero there, which is basically the same as this, except it's a pickup truck. And it had factory power brakes with that pedal. Saw this on a car, Beverly Hills. I just thought it was kind of cool, so I grabbed it as well. Let's see. The other thing, I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm excited about it, but it's a step in the right direction. In a previous video, I had mentioned struggling to find information on the turn signal switches. This is the turn signal switch that's out of here. Fits in there like that. The arm here actually, it unbolts and then rebolts once you've got it through the hole back here. But I haven't been able to find anything on this switch, and there's little plastic tabs right here that were broken off. They were laying in here, and those are part of the mechanism that when you turn the turn signal on and then you spin the steering wheel, it automatically turns the signal off once you've completed your turn. And those are gone on here, and I couldn't find anything to replace this, except there are switches on eBay. There's a couple of remanufactured ones. None of them look like this. However, there's a Fairlane at the Junkyard that didn't have, somebody had already removed the switch, but crazy enough, those little things were in it, because I was starting to think this switch didn't belong with this car, because all the switches I found for a 59 Ford looked nothing like this one. But in the Ranchero where we got the brake pedal, I found this switch, and it looks cruddy, but I think it'll work. And instead of plastic, it's got these little spring-loaded deals here that are part of the self-canceling mechanism. You'll see it's missing the horn ring, but there's holes here that this ring can unscrew here, and it'll screw onto the new switch. So I think that'll work. This ring is what the horn, okay, hold on. It's what makes the horn operate. There's a little spring-loaded pin that'll come through here when you push on the horn ring, and it contacts this ring here. You can see there's a wire that runs down to the horn relay, and that's what honks the horn. So this can be taken off and put on this switch once we get it all cleaned up and get that put back together. Something else I found really interesting, and why I thought maybe this switch that came out of our car did not work. I've got a Ford shop manual from 1959, and it talks about wires and color bands. So say there's an orange wire with a blue band on it. Well, I've always known bands and stripes to be, you know, an identifying mark on wiring, but you can see there's just an orange wire here with no stripe. I've never heard of the plugs being referred to as bands, and you can see there that blue plug, that plug on there is blue. So I thought maybe this is out of an older, an older car that maybe didn't use the same, color coding, but come to find out, in this 59 that we got this out of, sure enough, there's wires with stripes on it. So you can see here is your orange stripe. This is really dirty, but you can kind of get a look at it here. There's an orange wire with a blue stripe on it. So I have a feeling that maybe these were early 59 and these were later 59 Ford. I have no idea, but it seems like there's a lot of variables when it comes to the turn signal switch in these old Fords. One thing I'm finding out as well with the 59s is that it was this is the only year they used this body style, and it was sort of like a transitional time, because the 57s and 58s used a lot of similar parts, and the 59s had parts that were only in 59. They weren't in 58, and then Ford did a complete redesign in 60. So a lot of the stuff for this car is hard to find, and it seems like maybe they used up a lot of their surplus from previous years, possibly. just to get the 59 models on the road. But I kind of like this body style. I do. I like it much better than the 60s. And it's the only one that's kind of got even anything close to a fin down the side, similar to the Ectomobile. So as difficult as this project has been to source some of the parts, I think it was totally worth it. And I think that's all I was going to talk about tonight. I don't know. Got our gas cap installed. Talked about the brakes, the brake pedal, the turn signal switches. We are really, really close to getting the engine put in this thing. And I know the goal is to have this drivable to go to opening night of Ghostbusters Afterlife. And if we're being completely honest here, I don't know if it's going to happen. I want it to happen. It's definitely... I'd told one of my other friends on here. In fact, I think it was Jesta. I think it was you that I was saying in one of the comments about cutting corners. I think we had the cutting corners conversation. If it wasn't you, and I'm not remembering who it was, I'm sorry, but I think it was you, that, you know, we could start cutting corners with this project and get it on the road a lot sooner, but it needs to be done properly. I want it to be mechanically reliable. I don't want to have to, you know, cut a corner and then have to go back and fix it later on. So in the interest of doing it right, we might not make that deadline for opening night, which it's okay. It's not the end of the world. There's far worse things going on, but it would be fun if we could all pile in this Friday night. And I know looking at it right now, you might think that seems a bit ridiculous, but sorry, I was stepping on some metal there. It might seem a bit ridiculous, but it's not out of the question. It's not. So yeah, I guess that's it for now. We talked enough, right? Okay, well, I hope you all are doing well, and until next time, be excellent to each other.
You know, say it's cousin Ryan on the Hollywood Boulevard. You know, say he bigger than any superstar. All of us spit you some real dope bar. Some them sweeter than any chocolate bar. Boom!
Hey.